Good evening. We're learning Tanya Igeres Hakodesh Epistle 17 for the 24th day of Elul. And the overview for today's Tanya is the mitzvah of tzedakah creates a most expensive vessel for the infinite light to reside in, even superseding the revelation of godliness to souls in Gan Eden. Meaning, what you can accomplish through the mitzvah of tzedakah, even souls in Gan Eden cannot. They're not exposed to. Whether the mitzvah of tzedakah, what the mitzvah of tzedakah accomplish. So, we're learning Leilun Nishmat Eisha Tanya Bat Liebman. And also for Leilun Nishmat Shem Tov Gabriel Yaakov Ben Hirsch, and Havdil Refuah Shalema to Daniel Ben Simcha. So, Noido Visauso del Tato, it is well known that in response to an arousal from below, when a man arouses in his heart the attribute of loving kindness and compassion for all those who need of compassion. There comes an arousal from above that arouses great compassion upon him from the source of compassion. So just for the fact that you have compassion for someone else, immediately you're arousing compassion for yourself. That endows him with fruits of his deeds in this world, while the principle remains intact. We don't touch your principle for the world to come. So you can relate to it. You're only touching the interest, not the principle. If you have compassion for someone else, you're helping someone else, you'll be rewarded, and you have guaranteed interest, a principle in the world to come. So the Alter Rebbe goes on to explain that fruits in this world refers not only to physical blessings, but also to the insights and spiritual delights of Gan Eden. Meaning your Gan Eden is also affected by it. The Garden of Eden, for even Gan Eden is termed the world in relation to the world to come. Meaning the world to come is much higher than Gan Eden. Gan Eden is called the world in comparison to the world to come at the time of the revival of the dead. So the moment that we say world means limitation, time, space. So Gan Eden is considered world in comparison to the world to come. Pirush, what does it mean? The fruits, like the interest. Refers to the flow of benevolence, which is bestowed by the source of compassion and the fountainhead of life, blessed be He. It issues ever netherward, comes down, following the pattern of the evolution of the worlds from above downward, and so on. Until it vests itself in this physical world in the form of the blessings of children, life and livelihood, and the like. All these gifts, both spiritual and material, are deemed to be mere fruits, for just as fruits are not of the essence of a tree, but fall and are replaced. Right? Food comes and food goes. So too does this flow of benevolence undergo a transformation from world to world. The principle relates to the verse, your commandment, mitzvascha, is very wide. What does it mean? Which is a pasuk in Tilim Kuf Yutes 119. It should have said your commandments, not your command. Because there are many mitzvahs, there are 613. Why do you say in singular form, mitzvascha? So he answers, this would be the case of the verse simply meant to say that the commandments in general are without end. The Alter Rebbe also asked about the word rechava, wide, is also puzzling why. A more commonly expected term might have been great, immense, lofty, or the like. What does rechava means? Wide. So, however, the choice of the singular form of your commandment, why does it say mitzvah in singular? One mitzvah, alusa, the mitzvah of tzedakah, which is truly God's mitzvah, the mitzvah he performs himself. Which is the Holy One himself, blessed be he, in all his majesty performs at all times by animating the world. Says always, and will do so in the future with exceeding magnitude and intensity. It is likewise written, and they shall observe the path of God to do tzedakah. Tzedakah is here described as God's path. Metaphorically speaking, like a road on which one travels from one town to another. So too charity is a manifestation and radiation of the infinite Ein Sof light, which encompasses all worlds. That will radiate and become manifest in the future at the time of the resurrection of the dead, even to this world, in response to the arousal initiated by mortals from below, as expressed in charity and gratuitous kindness. With magnitude and force infinitely exceeding the state in which the radiation is manifested in the lower and higher levels of Gan Eden.
I have a question. We're talking here about the two worlds, the Gan Eden and the world to come.
Olam Haba, right.
Now, for example, we mentioned about this mitzvah of the charity, it's that, right? It has an effect in the world to come, and it says also when the resurrection, when Mashiach comes, is going to be here. Now, how is it going to happen, all those neshamot, right, that they already left this world, right? And when Mashiach comes, they say that they're going to come back and they're going to resuscitate. So how is the process in the world to come continue? Because they started the process there already. Why are they going to come back?
So
I don't understand.
First of all, there is an opinion that the world to come means Tchiat HaMetim, meaning that when we say the world to come, is Gan Eden is the upper world, where the neshamas reside or dwell. Okay, there are places for the neshamas, the abode for the neshamas, and the world to come is the world of the resurrection. There is an opinion that it's not it's obviously another stage, but another time, but it's the world of Mashiach, the actual world where neshama is begufin, where you have souls in bodies. So it's the world of the resurrection. Some say that it's separate, but
why after you are basically increasing your level, you are lowering it? Because if you're going to come back to the body, to this world, you are lowering it again.
No, but that's the thing, that in the time of Mashiach, the greatness of the body will be revealed. There's a whole Hasidic discourse that explains this concept, that actually the greatness of the ultimate greatness will be revealed within a physical body, meaning that the greatness of the body is going to be revealed. Because if you look at the general rule, that the lower you go, the higher your source has to be, right? So if you have a brick on top of a wall, the brick that is on top, once the wall collapses, the brick that was on top will fall the furthest, right? Furthest away. So the body is seemingly the furthest away, because the body, Zohar calls it the serpent's skin, like the snake's skin. So ultimately in the world to come, time of the resurrection, the greatness of the body and the superiority of the body will be revealed. So the ultimate joy will be when neshamas begufim and souls are in physical bodies. Yeah. So he writes, the proof for this is for the souls of all the tzaddikim and the tanoim, the sages who preceded them, and the prophets who predate the tanoim, meaning the prophets who were before the tanoim, that are now in the higher Gan Eden. We have lower and higher, so they are in the higher Gan Eden, at the peak of all levels. That's what I just said. Will become vested in their bodies in the time to come, and will arise at the time of the resurrection to derive pleasure from the splendor of the Shekhinah, which will then radiate in this world to the souls as they are vested within their bodies. Exactly what I said. It is clear that this revelation will transcend by far the degree of revelation that can be attained in the higher Gan Eden, meaning that souls in physical bodies will attain higher revelation that souls have in the supernal Gan Eden.
What's the logic?
Told you, because the lower it goes, the higher the potential is.
Right.
And also there's a statement, it says, notes tchiloson b'soifim, that the end is, the beginning is wedged in the end, and the end is wedged in the beginning.
So,
Meaning that the highest, that really when
I
Hashem
understand
thought
that
of creating a world, what his original thought is to create Adam, to create a human being.
Right. So at the time of Mashiach, the layers of the different worlds also are gonna disappear. So the energy of the
It doesn't say that those disappear, but it says that the highest levels will be revealed in souls in physical bodies. So that it is worthwhile for souls which are so lofty, situated, and this is also answering a question. It says it's worthwhile for souls which are so lofty, situated, they're so lofty situated, meaning that they're in the supernal Gan Eden, to descend and enclose themselves in physical bodies in order to be able to receive it, meaning they're receiving something that they don't have there. So it's worthwhile for them to go to do this trip, to come down again. This revelation is purely an act of tzedakah and gratuitous kindness on God's part. For man's arousal from below is in no way intense enough. Whatever we can do down here is not intense enough to draw down such an immense degree of revelation. A spiritual service serves only as a vessel which enables him to receive it. Meaning we're not really capable of creating such revelation. The Alter Rebbe now goes on to explain what exactly it is about the revelation attainable in the world to come that makes the revelation attainable even in the higher Gan Eden pale in comparison. What makes it so amazing? For the manifestation and the radiation in Gan Eden are of the level called Memale Kolalmin, the light which permeates all worlds, the muted divine life force that contracts, descends, and diminishes according to the respective capacity of the particular created being which it is to permeate. So revelation in Gan Eden is memale, meaning that you receive according to your capability. So it says the mitzvahs that we do are garments. What does it mean they are garments? They are clothing that enables us to receive the revelation of Gan Eden. But still you receive them according to the garments you prepared, and that's why it's called memale kolam. And it's light that has to be enclosed, infused in you, ingrained in you, drilled in you. It's something that you can take. So it can't give you more than you can handle. So that's happening in Gan Eden. This diminishment of divine life force, and when it happens, the divine life force has to be diminished, has to be contracted for you to receive it. is an evolving progression from one rung to another, has to go through many levels by means of immense contractions. Taught by the sages of blessed memory that the world to come was created with the letter Yud. This letter signifies the level of supernal Chokhmah, the first of the 10 Sefirot of the world of Atzilus, Anikris Eden Ha'elyon, which is referred to as the higher Gan Eden, higher Eden. That surpasses the level of Gan Eden in as much as Gan implies only a garden derived from Eden and not Eden itself. So we have two levels. We have the Gan and we have the Eden. The Eden obviously is higher than the garden. The garden is only leading to the Eden, or a garden is receiving from Eden. In which evolves and becomes vested in all the worlds. Chokhmah descends and vests itself in all worlds in order to continuously create and animate them. As it is written, you have made them all with Chokhmah. All created beings derive from the sphere of Chokhmah. Chokhmah techaya, and it is likewise written, and Chokhmah animates, again indicating that the sphere of Chokhmah animates all the worlds. In Gan Eden, it is manifestly comprehensible to each according to his measure. While the life force that emanates from Chokhmah is concealed from all other worlds, it is manifest in Gan Eden, so that the souls that are there, so that the souls that are able to apprehend the essence of divinity. For it is known that the light of the souls in Gan Eden derives from their apprehension of the secrets of the Torah, in whose revealed dimensions they were engaged in this world. So that was the secret in this world is revealed in Gan Eden. So, as is known, that the light of the souls in Gan Eden, the pleasure they receive, derive from their apprehension of the secrets. Meaning, the more you understand, the more delight you have. Usually, delight is not associated with pleasure. Gan Eden, the more apprehension, the more delight. It says, the delight of the souls in Gan Eden derives from their apprehension of the secrets of the Torah, in whose revealed dimensions they were engaged in this world. So that what was the secret in this world is revealed in Gan Eden. Whatever is secretive over here, is hidden here, it's going to be revealed in Gan Eden. The Zohar speaks about it in length in Parshas Shlach. Zohar speaks there about the various heavenly academies, such as Moshe's Academy, the Heavenly Academy, and so too an academy which Miriam teaches righteous women. And in the Gemara in Baba Metzia speaks about the reference to the incident involving Rabbi Bar Nachmani. The Gemara describes a legal debate between God and the Heavenly Academy regarding ritual purity in a situation where it is doubtful whether the baheret is the spot, the white spot, preceded the appearance of white hair. Is the spot on the skin preceded the white hair, or whether the white hair preceded the spot, the baheret. So what do you do in that case if you have a doubt which one came before? So it was agreed that Rabbi Bar Nachmani would render the decisive opinion because of his singular knowledge in the field of Negoim and Oholos, meaning he was very proficient in the laws of Negoim, of spots, of leprosy and the like. In the Kudat Torah Parshas Tazria, the Alter Rebbe explained the specific dispute as well as the concept of the Heavenly Academy in general. At any rate, so it says, you always have the third one to come and say who is right. So in that case, the Gemara Bava Metzia has this 86a. The Gemara over there has this debate between between the Heavenly Academy and Hashem, and Rav Nachmani was the one to decide which way we're going. Okay, here's the third opinion. Rabba Bar Nachmani. At any rate, the revelation attainable in Gan Eden is that of Memale Kol Amin, the limited type of revelation, in which only a limited degree of light filters through. You only get a little bit. The revelation of the resurrection will be from Seviv Kol Amin. What is Seviv Kol Amin? Which is not in a state of contraction, measure, and limit, but is limitless and endless. The concept of Seviv Kol Amin, as has been explained in Likutei Amorim, chapter 48. It's not what we think. Seviv is a sivuv, is a circle. It is not to be understood literally as resembling a sphere, heaven fulfilled. This superior order of light does not encompass all worlds specially, so that it surrounds creation and remains exterior to it. Meaning it does not pervade the world, it remains always in an external outside them. Rather, it means that it is not invested, implying adaptation within it, instead of contracting itself to match the receptive capacity of the particular created being that it emanates, it affects it even from within while remaining on its own level. So it does affect you from within, but the light itself does not contract, which is by itself is what they call a oxymoron, because if you're coming to me, obviously you have to lower yourself to me. Right. But at the same time, you don't change. You stay who you are. Yeah. So that's only godly power. Right. So it affects it even from within while remaining on its own level. Right. Note there carefully. So the takeaway from today's Tanya, from today's essay for the 24th of Elul: charity is God's commandment, an act God performs constantly, vivifying the world. Now you go and act like God. Bruchim Tiyum.